Hey, welcome to Sailing Not Shore. Today we're going to find out how fast the Portland Pudgy goes with a 5 horsepower Mercury on the back. Okay, this is how I take the dinghy, the Portland Pudgy, and take it down into the canal over there. Okay, downhill, here we go. This is my custom-made ramp for bringing up the dinghy, and the last dinghy too. Okay, something to remember. Put the plug in. I know it floats without it, but no problems about it. Okay, so one of the things I'm going to show you is how I put the Weaver davits in. Oh, just testing stuff out. Got an audience. So, in here, I've got mushroom anchor is in here, and the Weaver davits are in here. Well, as I have a kit here, and this is mine. Oh, it's like I know I hooked it on here. Hooked it on that. All right. Basically, it's got motor supplies in it, but it's a wet bag, and it's got the charging cable in it that we will probably use. A little tool kit for the motor. Okay. Got a little flashlight. Yeah, it works. Pull start for the motor. Also got, this is a handy little thing. This is more of a survival thing that I got. I think I got it on Amazon. Okay, this is a flint and steel set for starting fires. So, bright sparks. Great way to start a fire. And you'll need wood, so you'll need a chainsaw. And this is a chainsaw. It's a fold-up chainsaw. It's actually got the same blades as an actual chainsaw. See right there, that's an actual chainsaw blade. So you pull that all the way out. It gets a little tangled there. Gotta untangle it here. In fact, I probably need to take this inside and lubricate it a little bit. It's getting a little stiff there, various areas. Yep, I have to lubricate this. Put it in a plastic bag, probably. Some oil on it. So basically, you take these two sides here. Pull this across the wood and a little chainsaw. Okay. What else I got in here? And I have a small flare kit in case I really get in trouble. Small flare, small dinghy. Alright, that's that. So I'll come back and do that. If you've never had a dry bag before, the way these work is you basically roll them up like this. And then you usually clip these two together like that, but I'm not going to do that because I'm actually just going to wrap it up here like this. Clip it on here because I'm not, it's pretty dry in there. Okay, so one, oh, need the other Weaver now. And there's the other weaver davit. And fishing rod holder. It's good to have that. Alright, now the weaver davits go on the other side. Here they go, because we have this reinforcement here. So this one's more straight and that one's at an angle, so I'm pretty certain this one is the front one. There. Yep, there it goes, and you can see it fit in. It's stuck out here. Pin in there. I got my weaver davit. And do my other one back here. You can see it's got the reinforcement. And like that. Alright. Now for this, I gotta get off the boat. And turn it around. Alright. So the way these weaver davits work is these pull back, lock in place. You can see I have this that came with this plate here. I added a reinforced stainless steel plate on this side and on the back side. So I've got that going. Okay, so take one here, it goes in like this. And normally just push down and it will latch. Same thing on this one over here. Push down. Most times it helps if you pull back. Alright, there the weaver davits, and then this whole thing pulls up with a pulley system. Okay, so that's the weaver davits.
What are you doing now? I'm averting my eyes, oh Lord. Well, don't. It's like those miserable psalms. They're so depressing. Now knock it off. Yes, Lord. Right.
So, for today, we're actually going to use the motor. We're hooking the motor up. It's today's a motor test, so we're going to hook the motor up here. Now, to get this motor down, I have a winch up there. You see, I have a winch up there. Hook the motor. This is a 5 horsepower Mercury, and we're going to lower it down and attach it to the dinghy. Now, fortunately, the dinghy is going the wrong way, so we got to turn it around. So we're going to unlatch it from the weaver davits, and we'll lower the motor in. Now I do this on my own. It's always fun. Okay, there's something I haven't tried. Now you're all probably thinking, well, why don't you just reverse the weaver davits and put it over there? No, that's a good question. I don't think it'll work. But you know what? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Pop it so dinghy. I don't think this will work on this side because the angle. Yeah, the angle's wrong. So it won't actually. I mean, even though they have a hole over here, the davit is not made to fit like that, so that can't work. Alright, which I didn't think so, but thought I'd give it a shot. Alright, give myself a little slack over here. Okay, so bear with me, I haven't really done this on my own with this particular dinghy. I've done it with the other one. Alright, Alright, let's unloosen it here, make sure I've got it rigged here. I'm going to crank it up a little so it's tight and lock that in. Oops. Crank it up till it's loose. Turn the winch around here like so. And we're going to lower the motor down into the water. That's how it's done. Alright, I'm going to lower it pretty much where I think it needs to go. I'm going to lock that in, make sure that's locked because I don't want to take the motor for a bath. Alright, now the fun part is get the dinghy back here. Come on back. Alright. So I'm in the dinghy. Now I'm going to take it in. Bring up the motor here. Okay. And I do need to loosen this up a little bit, give it a little slack. It's basically the motor's going to hold it now in place. Lock down one side here. It's sitting on the boat now. That should give me enough to disconnect this. Alright, that's disconnected. Motor is on here. I'm going to make sure I don't let go of the dinghy at this point because I did unhook the line up there. So, don't want to go running away on me. Okay, let's jump back on board here. Okay, let's center the motor up here. Alright, motor's locked down. So one thing we should do is test the motor, make sure it runs before we do anything else. Pull the choke out, safety line, I'll put that to my wrist later. Okay, I need to make sure that on this model it has an external fuel that you can hook up, and we'll get to that a little later. For now, we're going to use the internal tank, which has this really cool switch here that shows you how it's off, you use the external tank, or down, and that uses the internal tank. Okay. Gear shifting's here, forward, reverse, make sure it's in neutral. My shifter knob, my throttle here, I'll put it on start. Choke, pull the choke all the way out. Let's see how many pulls it takes today to get this started. Wow, 2. Choking a little bit. Alright, she's idling. Should start in 2 pulls, it's new. So, go forward, yep, gear is working, reverse, yep. Alright, okay, that all seems to be working. So, get some gear together and take her out. Shut it off, and press this button right here. Get it off. I thought there was another button over here to turn it off. That's pretty much this one here. Alright. Okay, there's one thing I'm going to hook up before we go any further. On this motor, it has, over on the side here, we got 2 wires. Alright, And I go to this here, which I actually made this. I mean, it came with a different connector on here, and I put a cigarette lighter on here. You can see with my fancy tape job here. So, cigarette lighter. Okay, right angle one too. Can't remember where I got that. I think I got that off a Camfo fan, if I remember correctly. It's fans I have on the boat. Alright, so this is pretty basic. Red to black, red to red, black, black. And they're made so you can't do it any other way but that. So this will charge the internal battery of the dinghy while we're running the motor. Outlet adapter here. Like so. Wrap it around there. Keep it out of the way for now. Alright. Okay, so most of you have probably figured out what it is that I've been holding out, the little mystery, which is this gas line, fuel line. And it is gas, so therefore there's a gas line that I have strung all down the side of the boat here. And it is to put in this fuel tank. So to extend the range of the boat to have more fuel. I did make a custom-made plate here, which is really just a piece of plywood that I covered with some fiberglass resin and put a strap on, which you can get at West Marine or wherever, and did alter it to fit in the front of the boat, which is right over here. So, we're going to take this, and you can see I've got underneath here, you can see where the strap is, where it goes across, and I've got seating, and I put a little, I think it's 5200 as I put on there is 5200. Again, it's just a type of caulking to help hold it in place. So when I put it in place here, the fuel line out of the way. Fits right over the hole where the mast goes. So that holds it, really does hold it in place. Then I put two pieces here to hold the fuel tank in place. And then of course I have the strap as well. So I'll take the strap and feed it up over here. Ta-da! It's always fun doing this one-handed. Alright, so let's pull the tank out here. Okay. Fit the tank inside here. Like so, and jam it in there, and it's pretty tight. I made sure that it was pretty tight in there. Now I've got to feed this through. Alright, so probably want to feed this. Now that I have both hands free, I'm going to feed this up and over the tank first. And then jam it in there. And then I have the hose, which I also want to put in first. Go ahead and attach this here first. Let's get this attached. No, you can't see. Okay, so I floated out of view. So I'm going to attach this to here. Okay, then put that. Make sure the bulb is over here. Hey, floating out of view. Sorry, guys. Okay, so I want to make sure that the bulb is open and not getting squished here, so I'll push it in there. Somehow I got this strap turned around. But that's alright, it still does the job. I mean, it's pretty much, it's really, sorry, I floated out of view again. So it pretty much kind of nestled in there already. I'll just tighten it down, and now she's good and secure. Next thing is, obviously I've got the fuel line going here across the edge of the boat. pull it in tight a little bit. There we go. Now it sits right on this little channel here. There we go. So you can see I got just follows that channel right there. It comes up over here. And like I said earlier, this is that tight. It does have, this motor has an external fuel tank, so take that off and put this on here and we can extend our range. Now the one thing with this motor is you got to come over here and you got to make sure to turn this knob that way, so it's up now, so that takes off the internal tank, but yet it really okay, like I was saying, this knob here, turn that down, that does the internal tank, turn it up, it does the external tank. And now the Admiral's here, we're done with this. So hope you enjoyed this mod, and I'm going to take the boat up by myself. Hey there everybody, Eric is Sailing Not Yours. I already said that, so we don't need to go into it again. Alright, so, hey, so we're looking at the Portland Pudgy. You notice I've got something different about this this rig here. I've got a Mercury 4-stroke, 5 horsepower on the back, and I've got a tiller extension. That came from the previous owner, the last boat. They had a nice tiller extension here. So when I'm single, which is what I'm doing right now, I'm on the boat by myself. So we're going to do some testing there. Then we'll bring the Admiral on board. We're going to test that out too. So the way this tiller handle works, pretty easy. Just undo this, and it's got a clamp basically, and that clamps out. This comes off. So this also activates the throttle, so I can do the throttle as well as steering. And it's good to be in the middle of the boat, because sitting in the back of the boat really gets the front end high. I'm going to show you. Let's go ahead and move to the back boat here. And you can see now, my phone fell, I'm at quite an angle here. So, yeah, that's quite an angle, quite low to the, quite low to the water. So we're not going to sit in the back unless the Admiral's on board. Then actually, the Admiral's on board. I've got these little cushions. Hold on. Right, so I've got these cushions here, the flat pack cushions, which we use that'll put me down inside. So what I'll do is, and I've got another one I'll sit on too. So now that puts me deep inside and throws my weight down lower, which is good. I don't want my weight up high as I'm steering with the Admiral. Of course, I won't have the tiller extension on since I can reach it. But we'll do the Admiral part later. For right now, I'm going to sit in the middle seat here. Okay. And let's get this motor started. Make sure it's neutral. There we go. That's just running. And like I said, I can just turn this, increase the throttle. Alright, switch off cameras here. Alright, we're ready to start this speed test. Got the motor centered. Got my app. I'm going to go ahead and reset all the values here. Right now it looks like we're doing 3 miles an hour. So let's pick it up here a notch. That'd be lovely. Plane, not supposed to. You know, we bought this for sailing, for safety. It's pretty decent to row too. So, alright, so turn us around here. Okay, and one of the other tests I want to work on is having the rudder down, installing the rudder and pushing the motor off to the side. Like I said, I do notice that at slow speeds that we're having to go back and forth quite a bit on the motor. Not too bad though at higher speeds. One thing is I'm going to move the motor off to the side, put the rudder down the middle and see, basically lock it down the engine and see how that handles, because we'd like to use it for sailing, but still keep the motor on. So if we sail too far away, we kind of want to get back. Alright, let's work on that. Alright, we got her on the side. The other thought I had about doing also is if I'm sitting back here and the Admiral's up front, and I keep the motor here, then maybe that will work as far as evening out the weight, so I'm not having to sit on the side over here. Alright, nice and secure, here. Now that's pretty decently level, and then best as it needs to be. Alright, so let's test it out first without the rudder, see how that works. And yeah, you should always have your safety strap on. In case you go overboard. Alright, shoot some neutral. Gotta get used to which way to target this thing. Problem with this boat in that with the motor on the back, I'm trying to access the back area that lets water in. So I really need to have somebody up front if I'm going to be pulling stuff out of this back with the motor on. And then of course it's really fun to, I'm not very good at getting these on all the time. So you can see water getting inside. I'm not good at getting these things on. There's a trick to it. There's a trick to it. I just haven't figured out what it is yet. Alright, so I got the tiller out. Alright, got the rudder out. I'm going to take it out a little bit. Grab the tiller part. Slot that's here. Slot's there. Push that in. That's down. Now I've got it set to go. Okay, so I'm just going to drop this down in the back here. We're going to test it with the rudder down and motor. I can feel the rudder, I can feel the force, I can feel the feedback. So I put it in gear here. See how the rudder steers. Wow, it's actually it's doing pretty good actually. I'm kind of impressed. Ah, you hear that sound? That's the rudder hitting the motor. The actual propeller. I just marked up the rudder a little. I don't want to go too far over. prop, so I gotta make sure I do that. And she's tracking just like a rudder tiller would. Okay, now I'm gonna remove the tiller. Let's just pretend we had the motor on. So I'm gonna remove the tiller extension. I don't need to have that on there. Stick that down here. Set this up. And I want to make sure she's neutral. This forward will lock it down where it won't kick up. Oh no, wait a minute. It is forward. Sorry. I can't remember. Try it. Okay. It's forward that allows it to kick up. So you click it in forward. That allows you to raise the motor. Now here's one hit. Okay. Now, motor's all the way up. Yeah. So I can turn the tiller. Looks like the tiller hits a little bit over there. I can go fully that way, not so much that way. Now, I did hear the motor, it's got a secondary place. To latch it. I'll pull it down. Lift it up again. Here's that latch. Alright, so I got it latched in the first position, so it's up out of the water, but not entirely. And oh, look at that. So that gives me so much more range of motion with the tiller. It doesn't get in the way. And the propeller's out of the way. Yep, propeller's totally out of the way. Oh, you want to look? Okay. So you can see there's the end of the motor, there's the propeller, there's the rudder. So yeah, looks like that'll work for keeping the motor out of the way we're sailing and use the motor while sailing. So I think we're all good. All right, so we've tested the motor, we've tested it in the center line, we've tested it on the side, we've tested it with the rudder down and the tiller. We know that we got to bring it up one pop there so the tiller goes all the way over. That's great. All right, so I'm going to pull the rudder up and see how bad the prop got it. See a boat if I didn't nail my rudder with my propeller at some point. So, you can see the rudder is fully extended and I'm not seeing any marks. Oh, there it is, right there. Yep. There it is. A little bit of mark right there, just a little bit. So, great. Glad I could break in the rudder. Alright, so let's put the rudder apart here and head back to port. We'll head back to port, we'll take this rudder down, we'll head back to port here, and tell you what's coming next. Now the nice thing about this extension is that it extends further than this. Okay, not that far, that's too far. This way. Okay, you can see how far now I can sit at the front of the boat. Let's try that. Okay, it won't start because I've got it in forward, so make sure you're sticking it in neutral. There you go. Great. I can sit on the very front of the boat here. You can't see me. Just for grins and giggles. See how fast I can go with me sitting in the front. Off to the side, I notice I'm not having to adjust back and forth as much as I side rather than in the middle. I have noticed in other videos of Portland Pudgies that I've seen, when it's mounted in the middle, they're constantly doing this to keep it in the center. I think the flow through that little keel hit right on the back of that propeller creating some cavitation on one side and steering issue on one side and the other of the prop. So I think this is going to be my preferred position. Mostly because I'm going to sit back there with the Admiral's on. So yeah. What? Me? What do you mean? I was on a testing mission. I was testing. It wasn't fun. I was working hard. Alright, so you can tell that I'm sitting here. I've got the motor right next to me. It's not centered. Okay, and there's a reason for that because I have the Admiral with me today. Say hello, Admiral.
Hello, Admiral.
Alright, knew she'd say that. Thank you. Okay, so we're going to test out some speed and handling here with an extra body on board. And we'll start now. And you know what? I'm going to give the stick to the Admiral here and she can take pretty pictures of everything. As you see, this camera is going to go in here. We can see that what speed we're doing. We're doing 2. Just about, that's about our cruising speed. We'll have to take the camera. Show it to a big selfie kind of video. Camera around.
Ow.
Modification, the cable that charges the actual battery from the motor, the rudder, how we put the rudder in place with the motor in place, and how Gene learned how to run a camera by there you go. So we're still teaching her. Yeah, so thanks for tuning in. We'll catch you next time. Is there anything you want to say? Oh,
No.
All right. Okay, so there is actually one thing the Admiral should say, because it's her job to say, which is, what should they do now?
Like the video. Subscribe so you don't try to tell me.
Okay, that's going to be an outtake, so we're going to do that one more time. Because she's going to say, click like if you like the video, hit subscribe as well, and don't forget to hit the bell. I knew she'd get it. The bell. You got to click that bell, otherwise you don't get notified when we put new videos out. All right, cool. So this was fun, huh? I'm so dead. I'm out.